What's going on, everyone? I am me, you, and welcome to a Subnautica quick start guide. In this guide I will show you how to build a base, grow food and make some water. And with any luck I'll remember to put timestamps of the different sections in the description. And I will tell you now that this guide is fairly fast paced, so unless you move at the speed of light, be ready to pause a fair bit. Let's get started. When you hit the water, the first thing you'll want to do is grab the fire extinguisher and then put out the fire. After that, you can boot up your PDA and then admire the view. Once you're done having a look around, you're going to want to collect some resources. These include, but are not limited to, acid mushrooms, quartz, and titanium. Titanium in particular can be collected via limestone outcrops or scrap metal, which you can refine in the fabricator later on. It's also worth noting all of the resources we'll be using for this guide are locally available, so you won't have to go too far. So, when you've got a few basic resources for later, we can start crafting. The first thing we want to craft is a scanner, which requires titanium and a battery. We've got titanium, and the battery is fairly simple to make. You'll need 2 acid mushrooms and 1 copper. Copper, like titanium, can be found in limestone outcrops. Now, if you're like me, this may take 5 to 7 months to find. Or it could just take a minute. But when you do find it, you can head back to your Lifepod to craft a battery, and then a scanner.
The scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints from salvage technology and to record alien biological data.
Now that we have a scanner, you can go around and search for Seaglide fragments which can be found in these containers. When you do, scan them, and once you've got 2, you can build a Seaglide, which requires a battery, lubricant, copper wire, and titanium. You should already have titanium and you've crafted a battery once before. But before we continue, you may want some food. For now, we can use the supplies already given to us in the Lifepod's container. Don't worry, we'll show you how to get your own food later. Anyway, continuing on with crafting, copper wire is easy enough to make, it just requires 2 copper. As for lubricant, that can be crafted from creepvine seed clusters. These are fairly common and should be easy to find. Try to get at least 2, as we'll be using them for another purpose later.
New blueprint acquired.
With 2 seed clusters, you can make both silicon rubber and lubricant.
Lubricant is a
And we can now craft the Seaglide. While we're at it, we can also craft a survival knife, which needs silicon rubber and titanium, so you should be able to make this right after.
following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
Now this is where it gets interesting. We're going to head to an island. It's fairly easy to find. With the Lifepod behind you, look towards the aurora, and then look right. You should see a thick cloud in one particular area. That's where the island is. Using the Seaglide, head to it, and once you reach it, there are 2 small beaches. It doesn't really matter which one you take, but I went to the one on the left. Once on the island, there are a total of 3 bases for you to explore, 1 on each mountain and 1 between the 2. We're going to start with the one between the 2. Odds are you'll come across these creatures known as cave crawlers, and this is one of the reasons you made the knife earlier. Be sure to take them down with 2 hits to make sure they don't attack you. After the area is clear, collect some marble melons and potato plants, and then scan a range of things here, most importantly the multi-purpose room.
New blueprint acquired.
While here, you may as well also pick up this purple tablet. You don't need it right now, but further down the line you will. Make sure to also go around the side of the base and in the other area of it, as there's more around there. Oh, and don't forget the PDAs either. After you're done with this base, we can head to one of the mountain bases. Leaving the way we came, we'll be heading right. But first, let's wait for it to magically become day again. So, once you've reached the mountain base, you can scan and collect a few more things. Be sure to scan the observatory in particular.
New blueprint acquired.
With this base explored, we can head to the final one. On the way up, be sure to not miss any fragments. So, a particularly important thing to scan here is the indoor grow bed. You may also want to grab a lantern fruit for later. After you've finished in the final base, we can head back to the Lifepod. What we're going to make now is the habitat builder, which requires a wiring kit, computer chip, and a battery. Before we start looking for more resources, feel free to open up some space by moving things into storage. So, starting with the easiest thing first, the computer chip needs 2 table coral samples, which can be obtained using a knife on them. They're fairly common to find in the safe shallows and are hard to miss. As for the wiring kit, that needs 2 silver, and the computer chip needs 1 gold. These can both be found inside of sandstone outcrops, which are located in and around the kelp forest. Once you've got all that, you can craft all the needed components to make the habitat builder. Jumping straight into it, we can build a multi-purpose room, which we got the blueprint for after scanning it on the island. You can also create a foundation to build on, which will make larger bases look cleaner and stronger. But I don't have enough resources to make 4 of these, so for now I'm just going to build the multi-purpose room.
Oxygen.
With that built, you can then add on a hatch to allow you to get in and out of the base. The next thing is power. Let's create a solar panel, which is fairly simple to build. You just need 2 quartz, 2 titanium, and 1 copper. Select the solar panel in the habitat builder, place it on the multi-purpose room, and you're good. You now have power in the base.
Power restored. All primary Welcome aboard, Captain.
Let's add some windows. A window only requires 1 glass, which is made using 2 quartz in the fabricator. Great! Now we can look out and see the world around us. Now then, let's build an indoor grow bed. Using this, we can plant the plants we got earlier and start growing some food. The melon has 1 extra step. First, plant it, and then use a knife on it, which will give you melon seeds. Then plant those to get more melons. We'll see how these do later on. In the meantime, let's show you how to get water. There's 2 types, filtered and disinfected. I'll show you how to get both. The disinfected water just needs bleach, which can be made using some salt and a coral tube sample. The filtered water is easy enough to get. Just find a bladderfish which looks like this, pick it up, and then make water from it in the fabricator. You can also use the bladderfish and other sea creatures to make food too. As for the disinfected water, use a knife on the coral tube to get a coral tube sample. Then the salt deposits can be found lying on the ground. Once back in the Lifepod, let's make disinfected water, as we get more this way. And then we can release the bladderfish while we're at it. Anyway, let's finish this base. We can make a fabricator, which only needs titanium, gold, and table coral. Then you can quickly admire how well your food is grown. Eat a marble melon or two. Build a locker for storage. Move some stuff over. And you're done. You now have a base with a farm, fabricator, and storage. And you know how to get some water too. I hope you found this guide helpful. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.